I hope we didn't wake you. It's never too late for another episode, another round. Slam Pigs Podcast, episode 91. Coming at you late as hell, or early, depending on what co-host you are this week. Welcome back, everyone. What's going on? Slam Pigs Podcast would not be that without the new regime in full force this week. Colin Dunn. What's going on, my friend? Welcome back. How was your week, and where can everyone catch you?
Oh, my week was just dandy, watching far more wrestling than I feel like most people should. You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy, always live tweeting wrestling, always just tweeting about general things. You can check me out over at Future Entertainment, where I'm just making appearances all over the place over there. And of course, you can check me out right here at the Hibiki TMD for Slam Pigs every week.
We've been doing better. We've been getting more consistent. Welcome back. Two-man booth at last week. Thank you guys for all the good feedback on our Bruno San Martino episode. But man, I gotta come clean. I feel like shit, but at the same time, I feel so grateful. Man, probably the most grateful I've ever been for a guest to come on the show. Because right now, over there, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Kuzon, man, welcome back. Finally, we got you back on. Good morning, my friend. Where can everyone catch you, and how have you been?
He fell asleep.
He fell asleep. You know what? It's understandable, I would say.
Kuzon, where you at?
My voice made him fall asleep.
Honestly, he might have.
I think he did.
There you go.
Oh, there he is.
All right.
You can find me at the bottom of the bowl. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Kuzon TV for all the wrestling gifs and all the video game knowledge that I have. I don't have anything like more like smart quips to say because I'm fucking bollocks. At the moment, it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's probably killing the listeners too. Did you in fact just doze off for a little bit when I was giving you this wonderful, great intro of gratitude?
No, my Skype's being weird. I'm on an Android phone. I'm on this Razer phone. Still waiting for the Razer sponsorship, but it's through.
Hashtag sponsor Kuzon.
Yes.
There you go.
Hashtag perfect. Waste, and man, like I said, thank you again so much for doing this, dude. It means the world. In a couple hours for all of us though, it's the greatest Royal Rumble, guys.
I'm excited. For the most part.
I'm not. I should be more, I feel like, with the stacked ass card of an extra Rumble match a year. My favorite match of the year is also Colin. You tell me off air.
Right.
We were talking about this too. I think the time, like, it's airing at 12 p.m. here. 5 for you, Kuzon, so it's a little more like an actual. I mean, you get to watch the show like we get to for once instead of like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, the UK fans have it good for once.
Oh, what a fucking shame! Not up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, until 5 o'clock in the morning. Cry me a river.
I don't know a lot. Obviously it's a glorified house show. That's essentially what this is. But they have done some progression with the storylines.
Glorified house show. You can buy this. You can buy this on actual pay-per-view. There's 7 title matches and a 50-man Rumble, and it's like a 60,000 seat arena. I wouldn't necessarily call this a glorified house show.
And you're right. But we also just had a superstar shakeup, and a lot of these matches don't make sense now. So to me, it's like send the fans home happy type kind of show. When you got Cena versus Uncle Paul on a show, what screams send the fans home happy, casual fans home happy more than a match like that?
See, it's gonna make sense when I give my predictions. I'll just leave that vague for now, but it'll all make sense when I give you what I think is gonna happen.
This is the real WrestleMania. I'm telling you, lads, right now.
Honestly, it very well could be better than what WrestleMania was.
Cena's gonna go over on Undertaker. The world's gonna be fucking shaking in its boots.
They're gonna schedule a match, I guess, after they each have their respective matches. Cena and the Undertaker will be the 8th match of the night after the Rumble, and they'll shake in his boots. And you heard it here. That's our That's our bold prediction: an 8th match with Taker and Cena shaking in their boots match. The winner gets a nice trophy. The Rumble match we could say is kind of a throwaway. It's just for the spectacle, right? They're not really don't progress some storylines, but the winner isn't going to get like a world title shot right away. I'm assuming. I think it'll
No,
be. Go ahead.
The Spanish account for WWE just tweeted out a photo, and it basically just has a picture of a trophy. So yeah, the winner gets a nice trophy, and it might come into play as I won the greatest Royal Rumble, give me a match, blah blah blah. But I mean, as far as a direct prize, it's just a fun trophy that's gonna be a pain in the ass to carry through baggage claim.
Get Baron Corbin. More trophies. Telling you, man. Get him coming down the ring with loads and loads of trophies. It'd be a great gimmick.
Trophy King.
Mm-hmm.
They can like custom all the little trophy guys with balding, receding hairlines, mullet hair.
It's going to be like Austin Aries, except better.
The obvious big match we think that is going to progress storylines would have to be the Roman and Brock match. I mean, we can get right into the predictions if you want. Top of the show, Colin. Guys, doesn't matter.
Okay. Might as well.
Let's go with that one first. The big dog getting his rematch, which we see if people have lost their shit.
I don't want to make it worse. But for the sake of how great my prediction is going to be, can we do that match last?
All right,
and just start from like the top up.
Let's start from the bottom. Now we're here.
All right, cool.
What's considered the bottom?
If you want me to run it through.
Let's do the United States title match real quick. Jeff Hardy defending against Jinder Mahal. Who you got?
All right, this is part of my prediction. Is my long-winded prediction for the show. But in this match in particular, I have Jeff Hardy retaining the United States title.
I do too, in a clean win, basically.
Yeah, I think it'll be clean. No reason to have any kind of just weird ending. Just clean win for Hardy.
Kuzon, who you got?
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, that makes like the most sense. But I don't know if they're just gonna go like, oh, come on, like put Jinder on the forefront again. But then again, it wouldn't make sense for him to like put the belt on Jeff in the first place. What would have been the point?
Yeah.
Just take it off him, just to put it back on him. It's like, why?
I think we'll get there eventually again on Raw with Jinder, and at least when the belt gets off Brock, in which it's probably going to go in Roman. We'll get to that, but I could see a Jinder and Roman feud, with just WWE forcing to make Roman the babyface in that. You know what I mean? But right now, I think, especially with the loss to Gable, right now, Jinder, in their eyes, if anything, is established with his hell of a run he had last year, that he can put over guys now. I don't think he's getting buried and he's back in jobber territory. For now, they're just using him to get guys like Gable. And Hardy is a new singles act on SmackDown. He's going to be used here again to give Hardy more credibility as a singles guy.
Right.
Yeah. Tag team title match. SmackDown. Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos, guys.
I'd be interested in if the Usos could pull off the win here, but I mean, I'm fairly positive the Bludgeon Brothers are going to win. I feel like there's no reason for them not to. They've been building them up as like monsters for the last few weeks, so.
Nah, you good.
I did like how on we'll get to the full results later, but I did like how on SmackDown Eric Rowan lost because he was distracted by Naomi's butt.
By her gyrating
butt cheeks. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Butt cheeks.
Who better though to have that gimmick? You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Nikki James and Ruby Riott. Come on now.
I think especially because we saw it on SmackDown this week. I got the Bludgeon Brothers here, and I think it's going to be a finish where Naomi puts herself in harm's way. Of course, we're not going to see the Bludgeon Brothers in this company like beat up a woman intentionally, but I think she's going to get in harm's way and unintentionally get attacked by one of the Bludgeons. That's going to distract her husband enough for him to take the pinfall, and the Bludgeons are retaining this.
See, what you're missing out is the fact that women aren't in the show because they're basically just not allowed to be there.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
No, we can abuse women in this country. We'll be all right for that. Don't worry about it.
Good God.
Hashtag respect women.
Well,
No,
that's
but
how I
the whole
would
thing.
book it.
There's obviously no women's matches on the card because in Saudi Arabia they cannot compete without
No, I
being
know.
arrested.
Yeah,
Essentially,
yeah.
now
I know.
they
Yeah.
can be on the show, but as far as I know, they're just not there. None of the women are there. So
You can't like have them in a dominant fashion.
yeah,
And it's the way you dress them as well. It's not going
yeah,
to be the most popular
exactly.
thing.
You definitely can't have
So,
butt cheek distraction roll up finishes.
Oh no, God no.
damn it! No Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott bikini match. My
God,
dreams are like shattered.
it is 6:30 there. It's 1:30 here. Colin, fuck you. It's like 10 o'clock over there. I can't believe that I'd made that prediction and forgetting that the women can't compete, so I apologize. I'm out of it too. I'm tired. But yeah, okay, throw that out the window. That's what I would do, but the Bludgeons will just win straight up then. Fuck it.
Right.
Kuzon, you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean it's whatever really. Like I'm worried that the Bludgeon Brothers aren't really gonna go anywhere with it. That's my biggest worry. But yeah,
The Skyrim gimmick's not getting over. Just not.
Skyrim. No, it's not. They, they need to get with the Dawn Guard. Lads with like the
Oh boy. Here we go. Fatal 4-way, ladder match, Intercontinental title, Samoa Joe, The Miz, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. Gentlemen, Kuzon, who do you got in this?
Rollins. It's got to be Rollins. But they put the belt on him. They couldn't take this off of him again. Because if they do, then like it's way too short.
Yeah. In my mind, the only title that should change hands on this card is the AJ Styles Nakamura one, but we'll get to that. You're right. All these guys just won these belts. Most of them are baby faces. Don't take it off a baby face right away. Like, and I agree. I feel like Rollins should retain, especially with the shakeup. Miz isn't even on this show anymore. No one has stated either if the guy wins, he's taking the title with him to that show. That's never been addressed on commentary. At least I haven't heard the past couple weeks. So that would lead me to believe that yeah, these titles are staying with these guys on these shows. That's just going to be it. And not for nothing, the match is going to be tremendous, Colin. Either way.
Right. So this is the second part of my long prediction for the show. And the reason I'm picking this man will be explained when we get to the Universal Championship match. I am picking Samoa Joe to win the Intercontinental title in this match.
Do tell.
What?
Do tell.
Do tell.
All right, so I'm just going to spoil my Universal title thing. I'm going to make my long prediction here. So earlier, I picked Jeff Hardy to retain the U.S. title against Jinder Mahal. By the way, I want you all to know, listening, you two listening, whoever's listening, I will of course be wearing my Jinder Mahal shirt during this entire show. Just I have to. But anyways,
Yes.
Jeff Hardy will retain the U.S. title and thus keep the U.S. title on SmackDown. Samoa Joe is going to win the Intercontinental title and also bring it to SmackDown. Brock Lesnar is going to retain the Universal title against Roman Reigns in the Steel Cage match, and then at Backlash, the Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe match will be made for the IC title, and Roman Reigns will win and bring the IC title to Raw. That is my bold prediction for this show and Backlash.
I could see that because let's make our mid card titles important again. I could see that. Oh, I don't know if Roman can really afford another loss to Lesnar. I really don't. That's the only thing. And I know the fans are never going to fully get behind him. But for the fans that are behind Roman, let's take a step back. Let's take the smart marks out of the equation. Let's go back to WrestleMania. Let's look through the eyes of a child, a Roman fan. That demographic WWE wants to sink their teeth in. Get them while they're young, like the smoking industry. What? He needs this win. He just really does. It's just going to make him... Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying, but the other reason I feel like Lesnar would retain is because they want Roman Reigns to be Universal Champion and all that. But the thing is, like, it's going to be airing for people, at like 4 or 5 p.m. people are at work.
Right when school lets out, and the kids hop in front of the TV on a Friday when there's no homework. They get to sit down and immediately watch Roman Reigns lose again. Sorry.
With Roman get his fucking big pineapple split open again.
I just feel like this would be a weird time in the day for Roman's big win to happen, and I just really liked my idea of what I think is going to happen, so that's why I think Lesnar's going to retain the belt.
In your world, when you book it, does Joe win at Backlash?
No. Like I said, Roman wins the IC title at Backlash, bringing it back to Raw.
I don't know how they could possibly make Lesnar look like a more unstoppable force than what they've already done. Brock Lesnar, I think it's safe to say, guys, never needs another win for the rest of his career. He's made. He could put guys over till the end of time and still could be taken like a legitimate threat in any scenario, the way he's been booked like Jesus Christ since 2014 or 2012, whenever he came back. Really has.
Right.
Unless Uncle Paul was out there in the ring with him. It was a different story. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. If it is at the end of the day, they did like the stall at Mania or the quote audible, because I think we're going to see now if this was just strictly business, because they obviously it's going to come off more Roman winning in front of a crowd like Saudi Arabia that everybody's talked about. It's the epitome of a casual fan. You know what I mean? I don't think we're going to see many Bullet Club shirts today in Saudi Arabia. I just have that feeling, guys. I don't know if it's me. You could.
I don't think so.
It would blow my mind. I kind of hope we do now. You know what I mean? Usually I'm never one like, ooh, a Bullet Club shirt, but now I will be just for this. So yeah, I get that. If Roman retains here, it comes off, the visual will be perfect in their documentaries. Finally, Roman can win the world title in front of a crowd that gives a shit and cheers him. Maybe that's something they've wanted for their vignettes forever. Let's just go there for the footage. We need this. Plus all the goddamn money they're making.
Right.
Gimme. Should have more Conor McGregor do a run in. Just eating everyone alive until Brock just looks at him and just goes, "You better back off."
That's my bold prediction for the Royal Rumble. Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. Give me a belt.
There's more chance of Conor McGregor.
There's no belt. Give me a belt.
Shawn Michaels has been rumored. I would say we'd see Conor McGregor before Shawn Michaels in that Rumble.
Oh, God.
Honestly. Kuzon, who do you have in the Universal title match with Brock and Roman in a cage?
I want it to be Roman, to be fair. Like, I'm sick of seeing Brock. I don't want any more Brock, but like, I'm gonna pick Roman. Just in sheer hope and desperation. That's what I'm gonna pick. Roman.
There you go. Can't argue with that, I guess. And that's coming from that's strictly a fan of Roman's perspective, just how they build it. You're tired of seeing the Brock. And that's a case of the promos they've been giving Roman with You're Only Here So Long has worked to an extent. You know what I mean? Like it has made you notice more in a way when the Brock isn't there more, I guess, because when WWE comes out and finally puts in their promos, like, oh, here it is. Now it's a focal point of the storyline. So,
right.
There's another tag team title match, right? Like every title.
Yeah.
You got the rundown, the sheet there.
Raw tag team titles.
What else
the vacant Raw tag team titles?
Right.
Is it another battle royal? Or are they going to pull out a Saudi kid?
No, they've been doing the tag team eliminator. It's the deleter of worlds, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Cesaro and Sheamus.
That's
the bar.
Right. Who you got?
No, Nicholas got robbed.
No, Nicholas.
He got a shirt.
He did get a shirt. I love it.
Does he actually get Does he get revenue from that?
Yeah. Does he get royalties?
Maybe his dad does. The ref.
Possibly. I have Wyatt and Hardy winning the belts. I think I wouldn't mind if Sheamus and Cesaro won and just went to Raw again. I wouldn't mind that, but I think Wyatt and Hardy are gonna win. I think that's where this whole storyline is going with them.
Mm-hmm.
You would kind of have to at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with it actually.
Let's talk about the tweet Bray Wyatt put out this week real quick. To Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. I popped, legitimately popped for that tweet. And thinking about it, the way they booked the Miz, Taraj, and Raw, it would make sense for them to like this broken family they could start. It'd give them something to do at least.
Right. I mean, what a great stable that would be. Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas.
If you would have told me like 4 years ago that was a possibility in reality to be like a stable to talk about being rumored or something, I would have called you. I don't even know what I would have called you. I would have probably slapped you if you told me that. But it could happen, and I wouldn't hate it. I would be, because say what you want, Miz Taraj is Miz Taraj, but they entertained the shit out of me this week. They did really. We'll talk about it later, but yeah, they deserve better. They're company guys, you know what I mean. But that they're not in this match. It is Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, and the bar. I got to go with yes, like we said, the Leader Worlds. Kuzon, you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair
Did
enough.
you hear that? Background.
What was that?
Yeah, the dog. The dog. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, it's Roman Reigns.
The big dog.
He's not very happy.
What's the next match, Travis?
Let's go ahead and do AJ Styles Nakamura. It's about damn time we talked about this match. This is going to lead into SmackDown stuff later, but I think the club is going to be heavily involved. I think Nakamura is going to win this match. I think it's going to be a much better match, by the way, than what we got at Mania. I think these guys are going to let loose a little bit more. I think they kind of need to, especially with the heel Nakamura now. He needs to show more aggression.
Are people like willing to admit now that the match at WrestleMania would just sucked and was just really underwhelming?
I don't think it sucked. I think in any other pay-per-view, people would have probably talked about it a little bit more. I think there was no way it could have lived up to what it was hyped as, the way they did it. It kind of shot itself in the foot.
It was just extremely underwhelming.
It had its I agree. It had its moments that you thought like, okay, now we're moving, and before like anything happened, it was over. It was like, you know what I mean? When you thought they were going to kick it into overdrive, like I thought they had a good 10 or 15 at least left in that match. They're going to give it a lot of time, and no, it felt empty by the end of it. Even with the heel turn, it felt like something was missing.
Right. I think Styles is going to win via Japanese vasectomy, is what I'm calling it. I think Nakamura is going to just smack him in the balls again, and it's going to be a DQ finish. So I think Styles retains. And then I think they save the title. I feel like they're going to make the match at Backlash like a no DQ or some sort of match where being, cupped in the balls isn't going to matter. And so that's when they'll save the title switch. So I think Styles is going to retain here.
I don't know who the hell I saw tweeted out today on my timeline. And if you come at me and you listen to this, I apologize. They said they should do what Bret Hart did in WCW, and AJ should wear the steel cup. And that could lead to AJ winning, obviously. But yeah, like it would hurt Nakamura. Remember how Bret Hart did that when Goldberg tried to spear him and knock Goldberg out? It was one of the best things WCW ever did to this day.
Yeah.
Give Shinsuke the wanky hand, as we call it. Wanker's whiplash.
Yeah. That would be, we haven't seen that done since then, so that could be something they could do. I think it's time though for Nakamura, brand new, shiny new heel. He needs a stable, and I think Carl Anderson and Gallows should be those guys. I think that should be the stable. There should be a swerve here because they talked about it so much this week on SmackDown on commentary about how close Styles and the club were, and blah 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 blah. And there's so much you can do with this, especially since they just flipped with Balor. And that's weird also how they were just in a stable. Now they're not in a stable, even though they were wearing Balor's tights on SmackDown. We'll talk about it. There's so much you could use, like you left us high and dry in Japan or something. You know what I mean? I feel like Nakamura should have these guys because Nakamura's been doing the speak no English thing, which is great, but eventually he's going to need to cut promos, and I think having stable like that, especially Carl Anderson can talk. Luke Gallows is entertaining as all hell. That's what I would do. They put themselves in this situation. I didn't think there was any reason, honestly, for Balor. I like them with Finn Balor more than AJ at this point. Right. But yeah, that's what I would do. Kuzon, who do you got?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said. Actually, I'd like to have Shinsuke win, through like kerfuffles with the with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows though, because I think I don't. I want AJ to have the belt still, but I want Shinsuke to have something other than just going around low blowing AJ for no reason. Like, that's not a storyline. It's not really a lot you can go off of other than, it's funny every week, but it's not story progression. You need something that can have some story progression.
Right.
And I think Shinsuke winning the belt would actually benefit the story and actually give Shinsuke like something to go off of.
And
really
plus,
quick, I also want to make mention just how great his new theme song is.
Oh yeah, he got a new theme, didn't he?
He did, and it's awesome.
I know, like, instantly you put out on SmackDown reactions, you're like, yeah, I'm going to download it. I need it.
The second I heard
it,
it,
you're gonna download it, you're gonna buy
great.
it. You're gonna buy it.
I'm gonna do both.
You're going to be a good boy, you're going to be a sassy boy. You're going to download it, you're going to buy it. What you going to do? No, I liked it too, and people complaining about it. You know what? It makes sense. Make the people sing along less. He's a heel now. They're not supposed to sing along with the music, even though they did with Bobby Roode. Maybe I just shot myself in the foot. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I like it, though. I like it. Didn't see that coming either. And you know what? I think it's just in time because, his theme is borderline almost insufferable because I've heard it so much now. It's kind of nice that they changed it up a bit, I feel like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the glorious music in a way now.
Bobby Roode kind of messed that up for himself. To be fair, he oversaturated that even in himself. Like in the NXT, he overdid it. So
yeah,
that's his own fault.
What else is on this besides the actual Rumble match?
So we have
the
death of Rusev Day, Undertaker versus Rusev in the casket match. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this. Does anyone have Rusev winning this match?
You don't know that he's gonna lose.
No, I know he's gonna lose.
No, you don't know that. Shenanigans could happen. You're gonna an Egypt with egg on your face.
If I said this on another show that I did with show friends Hammers and JD, that if Rusev beats the Undertaker, it'll be one of those moments where I genuinely I stop watching wrestling for the rest of my life, because at that point it's peaked. Wrestling has peaked, and nothing will ever happen to top Rusev beating the Undertaker in a casket match in Saudi Arabia. So,
you don't want to see Okada come to WWE?
No, it's peaked at that point if Rusev beats Taker.
It's
not even a bad stop watching wrestling. It's a good, it can't get better than this, so I might as well not ruin it. But yeah, okay. The Undertaker's definitely winning.
Kuzon, what prescription are your glasses? Because I know you wear glasses.
Very, very strong.
I'm gonna need something very, very. I'm gonna need something very, very strong too for my rose-colored glasses. I'm gonna put on for this. Okay, you ready? You guys sitting down?
Okay.
This is going to be the boldest prediction in the history of any show I've ever been on in the history of my life. In this match, we are going to finally get pretty much John Cena turning heel, costing Undertaker this match. John Cena and Uncle Paul are going to go on first. Uncle Paul's going to beat John Cena. John Cena's another loss. Fuck. He's finally going to have enough, going to assist Rusev in winning this match. Then that leads to a rematch. They're going to springboard from this to maybe SummerSlam or WrestleMania next year. We have not seen the last of John Cena and Undertaker. It cannot end in 3 minutes. We're finally going to get to see Cena bring out that alternate theme music he has written and he wanted to do when he was a heel, and they said no. We're going to get a glimpse of it. I finally feel like they're going to do, and this is going to be the match. Everyone's assuming they think they know what's going to happen. I'm calling an audible here, guys. Something's happening here, and god damn, I just jumped as high as Michael Jordan, but that's my prediction.
There you go. It could happen. It's a very bold move, but it can happen.
And I will say this, if that casket lid closes on The Undertaker and Rusev wins that match, I may need to literally, in my living room, stand up and take my pants off and jump for joy. I will pop so hard if Rusev wins this fucking match, and I'm right there with you, Colin. It can't get better
80s,
than that.
brother.
Wait,
It's the
why do you
80s.
need to take your pants off just to
Because it's the
jump the show?
80s. God damn it.
Because it just feels right. It'll just feel right.
It was acceptable in the 80s.
That's what I got. Who you got in this, Kuzon?
Yeah, I'll go for that. I'll go with
The pantsless win. All right.
I'm
Yeah.
actually the only one picking the Undertaker. Fuck it. All
Well,
right.
you're the other one wearing fucking pants too now, so.
I'm actually wearing shorts.
Loser.
Anyway, the other match that Travis had said was Triple H versus John Cena. I also have Uncle Paul getting the win here.
Yeah, I got it clean too.
Ronda
I don't
Rousey,
have any
yeah.
shenanigans in this.
Yeah, no, I just think I think it would be good for this to open the show just as like, two big names, and yeah, I think Triple H just wins clean.
Hey, brother. Uncle Paul doesn't open the show, dude. Easy, brother.
Kevin Nash comes out.
Hey, brother. I'm Terry Bollea, dude. Who the fuck is Kevin Nash?
Hey, John. Swing me on the way down, brother.
Hey,
Get down
John.
for me.
Travis does the best Hulk Hogan impression ever.
It's better because it's 1:41 a.m. He just comes out more.
It's only 10:39.
Late Night with Terry has been unleashed.
Oh God.
That
That's
sounds
the
like a
name- that's the
disgusting
name of
show.
his
Let's
next-
move the train along from Late Night with Terry, for God's sake. Yeah,
the name
Uncle
of his
Paul.
next sex tape.
Uncle Paul, John Cena. They're gonna have a paint by numbers Uncle Paul, John Cena match, and Uncle Paul's gonna win. That's what I got on my sheet.
Gimme. It's not
Who's on?
WrestleMania. It's not WrestleMania, so Triple H isn't gonna go down on his back. Only at one type of pay-per-view, Uncle Paul goes out on his back. Any other time, bro, you better lay down for me, brother. It's gonna be Uncle Paul.
I like it. Triple H all around. And the other match, aside from the greatest Royal Rumble, is Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto. Now, Travis,
What the fuck?
you and I do cruise control with Logan when we can.
Kalisto
supposed
won
to
a
do it-
gauntlet. It's yeah.
No, I'm getting to that. I have a story to tell about that match. I was supposed to do cruise control on Tuesday, but my power went out close to the show, so I had to watch the show on my phone, and then I couldn't, do the show itself. But I'm watching this gauntlet match, and it was a pretty good match. I mean, it wasn't as good as the one on Raw a few months ago, but it was a pretty decent gauntlet match. And it got to Drew Gulak and Tony Nese. And at that point, I know someone is supposed to come out after this match, but for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. And then 2 minutes before the match ended, I was like, oh yeah, it's Kalisto. And so Drew Gulak beats Nese, out comes Kalisto, and in my mind, I'm thinking it's a definite win for Gulak. He's going to win, it'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And Gulak, he's trying to apply the Gulak. It's a great name for his submission. And then Kalisto reverses it into the Selena Del Sol and wins. And I don't think I can put into words the actual feeling of disappointment I had in my body when Kalisto
You didn't spray your goo juice.
might be the grossest combination of words I've ever heard in my life.
No ectoplasm on the ceiling.
But no, I was so disappointed when Kalisto won, because I'm so sick of Kalisto. I don't like Kalisto, and he blocked me on Twitter already, so I don't give a shit what he has to say.
It's like we've fallen from grace with Hoovy Juice, and now it's Goo Juice with Kalisto. Hoovy Juice was awesome, because Hoovy was awesome, but fucking... I didn't watch this live, so I could only... Your power went out, but you turned it on. How low did the pit of your stomach sink when Kalisto got the 3? And I kind of get it, because don't make Gulak lose, and I don't want to say throwaway show, but for storyline purposes, I guess, not a prominent show, maybe a pay-per-view down the road, Gulak get the win, don't hurt him, kill it right away with Alexander win, but Kalisto, why are we going backward? What?
Here's the thing. I think part of this will make you happy. It was revealed that from the way it looked, this was supposed to be Alexander versus Buddy Murphy. And on 205 Live, I think last week, Buddy
weight-
Murphy was
the weight
207
thing.
and did not
Yeah.
meet the 205 weight limit, which I'm sure made Travis very happy.
Because he looks 304 fucking pounds next to these guys. He's not 205.
My boy, Buddy Murphy.
I love Buddy
He's
Murphy.
an OG. He's an OG boy.
That
for
is
me
an
in
intercontinental
NXT.
guy, right? That is not a cruiserweight. That I don't see him in the.
Oh, yeah,
It's not an insult to him. I like Buddy Murphy. He's really fucking good. Under the radar for years. Who knew he was this good?
Exactly. Hey, he calls himself the best kept secret, and he was right. But anyways, I feel like I think every legitimate thing about like Buddy Murphy's weight that they've shown on Raw or on 205 Live is real. Like I think he honestly has to be weighed in because I think he was 207 just because he's that like jacked and it's just part of his muscle. And I feel like in reality he actually is 207. And so they had to, and like they want to follow this 205 limit. They don't want to lie about it, I guess, for whatever reason. And so this was originally supposed to be Buddy Murphy's spot, so they just kind of had to shoehorn somebody in there. And I guess they went with Kalisto for a safe bet for a good match. So that's why I think they're doing this match with Cedric Alexander. That being said, I'm guaranteeing Cedric Alexander retains the belt here. I'd be very surprised if they didn't.
Could you imagine?
I'd be terrible. Be absolutely terrible.
That being said, gentlemen, Kuzon, I know it's early, so I apologize for this. It's time to rumble! It's time for the greatest Royal Rumble! 50 men. Holy shit. And I've seen reports of Hornswoggle, Daivari. There's all kinds of tricks up their sleeve for this, guys.
I've heard Kevin Nash. I've heard Daivari, Hornswoggle. Apparently Shawn Michaels is rumored. I don't believe he is, but apparently he's a rumor. They've confirmed that Rey Mysterio and the Great Khali are going to be in the match.
Yeah.
Oh my boy!
What?
Great Khali.
What if Sergeant Slaughter came out in the Iraqi sympathizer gimmick? He brought it back.
Oh God!
With the Saddam Hussein manager and all, General Adnan, even though he's passed away. Rest in peace.
Oh, good God!
I think he's dead. Don't quote me on that. If General Adnan Al-Casey is not dead, I'm sorry. No, but initially my gut tells me Daniel Bryan is winning this, but then I think to progress the Miz storyline, Miz is going to fuck over Bryan in the match, so that's a no-go.
Great Khali.
Great Khali. Fair enough. That was easy.
Gimme.
I honestly have no fucking clue. For once, I got nothing. I have no clue who's going to win this match.
It doesn't matter. It's not really for anything other than bragging rights. For that reason alone, I am going to go with Braun Strowman as my pick. I think it'll just be one of those. He's the biggest boy there is, and so I'm big, I'm strong, I beat 50 men. Braun. It hurts my throat every time I do that.
I can pretty much guarantee we're going to see a Rey Mysterio Braun Strowman spot in the match, though. It's
I'd be happen. More than
they have to do that. Kurt Angle, though.
Shane McMahon's in this match. Why
Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry's in the match.
No. Like Shane McMahon. Why? Man, fuck off.
It's a 50-man rumble. They have to fill them with every possible man they can.
Are the cruiserweights going to be in this?
Tell me you can't put some NXT guys in there.
I don't know if NXT is going to be involved because. They could, but I haven't seen a whole lot of them.
There's gotta be 50 guys. There's gotta be some NXT guys.
I'm sure there'll be at least one or two. But 25 of the 50 entrants have been confirmed so far. So there's still 25 unnamed people there, and you have to also realize a lot of the Raw and SmackDown roster have still yet to be released. So
yeah.
I'm sure there'll be one or two surprise names in there, like any normal Rumble. But you have to also realize that, a good majority of both of the rosters haven't been announced for it already, so they're going to be in there regardless.
Guys are going to do double duty on this show too for 50.
Yeah, I'm sure. People in the tag team matches or the IC ladder match will be in the match as well. I honestly, I think The Undertaker, Cena, Triple H, Rusev, I think all of them will probably be in the match.
I just picture Vince backstage when this was announced, like booking the match or whatever, going over it, going through his contacts on the cell. And I need bodies. Give me bodies, pal. Just anybody you can. Mark Henry, Shawn Michaels, any fucking King Harley Race got the call. He turned it down. He can't do it. But I'm sure he called everybody and anybody because all the potential money they can
Jimmy
make.
Jimmy Snooker's corpse comes.
Jimmy
down the
Snooker's
fucking
corpse,
ramp.
yeah. Just put him on the top rope and throw him down. It'll look the same. But the potential, and we haven't talked about the biggest, the potential money for this down the road, the partnership with them doing shows over there. They've been doing it since 2014, but never on this scale. So and let's get into it. The scandal with the women, everyone virtue signaling this week, and yes, it is bullshit. I did it too. I think it's a shitty thing to do to talk about empowerment and stuff or run a show like this. And I get that it's business and money talks and bullshit walks. I'm not a big fan of corporate environments,
Do you
so
want? Do you
I
want?
kind of hate that about it.
Do you want
But
someone to get shot? Do you
no,
want to see
I
someone
don't.
get shot
And
by a
that's where I'm
TV?
at with it. I'm like, on the other hand, I want these
Yeah.
women to keep all the skin on their bodies intact.
I don't want to see body parts and organs being ripped apart by gunfire. I'd rather not push it.
I feel like this. I think Triple H said something similar when getting interviewed by someone about this. I feel like this is a step forward as far as because this is like a 10-year deal type thing. Like if this happens every year for the next 10, wouldn't be surprised. Like this very well could turn into like a yearly pay-per-view type thing that they do. Now, that being said, if that's the case and this is happening like, next year, the year after that, I feel like between now and by the end of the 10-year deal, women will wrestle on this type of show. I feel like doing this show in this country is a step forward in trying to make this happen. Like I feel like Triple H said, like, it's one word, hope. And that's it. It's a hope that in the future they'll be able to come back to this country and have the women compete and, not have as big of like, government issue with this show that there seems to be.
I mean, put it to this way, right? It was only, I don't know how many years ago, like last year or the year before, women couldn't even like get schooling without the permission of a male care.
Exactly. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still like that issue with the people attending. Like women can't attend the show if they don't have a male person to accompany them. And there's a lot of rules as far as the seating goes. Like apparently, like if you're just a single male in Saudi Arabia, you can't get a ringside ticket. Yeah, you could afford it all you want, but like I guess the ringside tickets are being saved for families, and each family has to have at least one woman. And like it's definitely propaganda as far as it goes.
Can I just put this into perspective, right? I don't think people understand how serious this isn't. Just, oh, we're not putting women on just because we're a little bit scared. No, I don't think wrestling fans understand the severity of the situation. Right. This isn't playground rules. This is a matter of life and death.
Yeah, you bring religion and politics.
Well, if they could have women matches on this show, they would, but they quite literally can't.
Wrestling fans don't even understand wrestling most of the time, let alone religion and politics and all this kind of stuff.
They need to understand, like, in different cultures. Like, you might know a little bit about New Japan and a little bit about Japanese culture, but in real life, bad things happen. A woman had to be shot in her face to even get other women to be able to go to school in this country. It's that bad.
Right. And to think that pro wrestling would be on that scale to kind of the progression over there make it different. Maybe asinine in thinking in a lot of people, but you said it yourself, propaganda. And when I say wrestling fans don't understand wrestling, they don't understand what WrestleMania now is totally different than years ago. WrestleMania now, cities bid on WrestleMania because it boosts the entire economy and pretty much rejuvenates that city with all the money taken in.
It's like the Olympics.
What does Saudi Arabia love more than anything? What does the U.S. love more than fucking anything? It's goddamn money. And if they make enough of this, we could very well see progression years from now from this. But I also get the other end to think that fucking wrestling's going to make it happen. It's money that would make it happen. If it's not wrestling, that's just the harbinger with the money attached to it,
Right.
Because nobody else fucking goes
Here's
over
the
and runs
biggest-
shows like this.
Here's the biggest prediction, right, that I'm gonna give in wrestling possible. 5, 10, 20, maybe 40 years from now, we're going to be having pro wrestling matches in North Korea. It's going to get to that point.
We've seen it before.
It's going to take.
That was the 90s, though.
Yeah, but like Ric Flair was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was WCW.
Like what? Yeah.
Inoki threw it. It was a world peace thing. Inoki threw it in a co-brand of like WCW. It was all kinds of guys. But that was like 95. That was years ago.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot of balls and a lot of understanding from wrestling fans to understand the severity of these situations. Like, this point, it's going to be a lot of money, but it could be for something else at some other point. Obviously, like, the whole goal of this is just WWE trying to, like, get their name around, the world. They've been doing it in China at the moment. I don't know how well that actually went. Like, didn't they, like, get released or something like that?
Right.
But it's going to get to the point where we're going into different countries that are in current war. So it's going to get dangerous, but hopefully we're going to see some progression in the wrestling world. Not just with other countries like New Japan and, with progress and all this, but hopefully just with the countries in general. So.
And quite honestly, I think Great Khali winning this Rumble could very well be the signal that this world needs to come together and hold hands. And that's our prediction. And Khali is going to bring it full circle, and everyone's going to get along. And women can do what they want because this man did it. He won the match.
Oh, God, I'm going to kill myself. Kuzon, who is your pick to win the greatest Royal Rumble?
Great Khali.
We already said it. Great Khali.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to wear a cape, too.
Please.
Honestly, the Great Khali is going to be in the Final Four, isn't he? Oh, God.
Give me.
I'd like to see Angle win it personally just for shits and giggles because I'm an Angle mark. Somehow this old man sticks it out. Everyone.
I want it to be
Bobby Lashley's also there.
I want it to be someone completely just for no. I want it to be like Sin Cara.
Chad
Or
Gable.
some bullshit.
It could be Andrade. I forgot his fucking last name. I can't pronounce his last name.
He could debut in this match officially because they've been building him up on SmackDown.
Right.
There you go.
That's a hell of a way to debut, winning the first ever Saudi pay-per-view. I don't know. Either way, like we said, it's so unpredictable to predict who is going to win this match. It's just, if anything on this seems like to me, to you guys listening, it's like a throwaway show. This match itself will be entertaining. It is probably worth the watch just for the names and alone. I mean, 50 goddamn guys, but that's the greatest Royal Rumble, guys. The first one. Next year we could be talking about the greatest Royal Rumble 2. And I think this show is going to be a success for them. I think they're going to knock it out of the park, honestly. Financially.
Yeah.
That being said, guys, though, this week's Raw review, let's recap real quick what went down, the bigger stories that happened this week on Raw. What was your favorite segment of Raw this week, guys?
I did like the first Sammy and Kevin show. I did enjoy that.
The tag match with Braun and Bobby Lashley against Sammy.
Bubble Lashes. Oh my god, it's still really funny to see.
Who was it? It was my buddy Sassy or something in a group chat or on Twitter or something said that Bobby Lashley with the headband reminds her of like a Cabbage Patch doll, a baby, like when you train it with like. And I see it, and it made me do a spit take with my drink. So,
there you go.
That match was great. That day, Jesus Christ, that shoulder block from the outside from Braun to Kevin Owens was amazing. And then he came back and did it again a second time.
Braun shoulder tackling Kevin Owens like 3 times and then hitting with the drop kick was definitely just. I think that was like my just favorite moment or just like part of the entire show.
Here's what I want to say.
Someone needs to put that.
This was my favorite part of the show too, and just because of the reaction for Braun Strowman in this match. At the end of the day, this was really a nothing tag match, but that crowd wanted him to get those hot tags so bad. I have not heard noises like this. The crowd react for a guy like this just in ages, and it was refreshing. And I feel like the sun is staring them right in the face with Braun, and they're just, we're gonna get it. I feel like he's gonna get a run. He's gonna be the guy eventually. They would have to if it keeps going like this. But on this night, in this moment, I was just blown away how behind Braun this crowd was. And I know, Colin, you're gonna credit it to Nicholas, so go ahead.
Yeah, Nicholas is the reason Braun Strowman is still over. Nicholas is just the Lord and Savior of the tag team division in professional wrestling, and I can't wait for him to get out of the fourth grade and just win at SummerSlam. He's gonna be great. Can't wait.
Okay. Next IWGP Heavyweight Champion, yeah?
Yeah, no, he's gonna be the one to dethrone Okada.
If my watch is right, by the time that he's getting his driver's license, he'll be in the Hall of Fame already. So there you go. Kuzon, what did you think about this part of Raw with Kevin Owens show tag match?
It was really. I enjoyed the Kevin and Sammy's show because it had the angle on there. Sammy was going through his notes and it was just going like, and he mentioned that we forgot to mention Jason Jordan, but to be honest, like Kurt Angle's already forgotten about him.
Oh my
like
god,
the rest of us, I'm like, oh my god.
No, it was like it was Sammy saying like, oh, he has 6 kids, and Kevin was like, no, it's 7. It says right here 6. No, it was 7. You're forgetting Jason Jordan, but that's okay. Kurt Angle forgot him most of his life too.
For anyone that hasn't seen this, the Kevin and Sammy show was them sitting at a table and having Kurt out in a lawn chair, by the way, which was tremendous too. And Kurt sat in it. He fucking sat in it. You think he would just kick it and be like, fuck you, I'm not sitting. He sat in it like it was nothing. So shout out to Kurt. I gotta say, and I love that too, Kuzon, but Sami Zayn is nailing it with these mannerisms. The way like he scooted his glasses down his nose when he said that to Kurt and just stared at him kind of weird, and it was great. I loved it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The match itself was brutal, like we said. This is one definitely worth checking out. Crowd behind. I like Strowman and Lashley as a team. Actually, they're like bat packing each other and saying "good job." Beast team right there.
Mm-hmm.
Slapping each other's tits. That was really weird.
Slap each other's tits.
They did legitimately.
No, that was Titus O'Neil slapping Apollo. Like he slapped the shit out of his chest in their match later on. If you caught that.
Ooh.
Right before the match started, like to tell him good luck. It's like he just gave him a knife edge chop. Apollo kind of looked disturbed. What else went down on Raw this week, guys? Colin, you got the format. I'll throw it up here if you don't. What happened?
I got it right here.
All right.
So I mean, the show opened with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar actually showing up to work for once.
Ooh.
I'd never say that to his face, though, but...
He's got a set contract. It's on set dates. We're going to waste him on Raw.
At this point, I think it's just a by-appearance contract. He just gets paid whenever they want him now. Like, hey, show up to 4 Raws in a row. We'll just give you a cool $1 million. And, of course, Lesnar's just going to be like, all right.
Cheers, mate.
It's probably safe.
Paul Heyman, by the way, we have to realize Paul Heyman is not going to be at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
That's right. He's not. Neither is Zack Ryder. That he's injured. He injured his knee this week on a main event taping with Mike Kanellis.
Yeah, he was fighting Mike Kanellis. Poor Zack Ryder. But yeah, no, Paul Heyman not going to be there because he is Jewish and they don't like that in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Any other lazy Jews not going to come to work this week, or just Heyman?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just kidding. Fucking. I wonder who else. I guess we'll see who else is. Goldberg, obviously, I guess, isn't going to have a match then.
No.
He won't be in the room.
We also had Elias pinning Bobby Roode.
We did. Oh my God, that did happen.
It was a clean pin. I mean, obviously, kind of like had a weird roll up, and it was a little dirty because he pulled him into the ropes. But I mean, it was a clean win for Elias over Bobby Roode, and I'd buy Elias over Bobby Roode any day of the week. So I mean, I was fine with it.
As a face, Bobby Roode. Go ahead, Kuzon.
No, I'm just laughing, just like how silly that would have looked for Bobby Roode.
I'm not even going to bother saying it. I say it every fucking week. He's not a heel yet. I don't even want to talk about him. It's pointless. They'll just do the opposite with Bobby Roode at this point.
TNA.
We had the Deleter of Worlds defeating the Ascension. I think the Ascension would be great in like the Hardy Compound type universe thing that they have going on. I think the Ascension would be great characters to have there.
They could help like Senior Benjamin in the yard and show clips of it. Or like Rebby giving them piano lessons. And then like looking confused and like Connor's fingers are too big or something. Like they break the piano because they're too strong and just little skits.
Man, I remember when the Ascension were actual wrestlers and not just there.
I remember when fans would chant "Yah" after everything they did in NXT when they were over. Seems like 10 years ago.
It does, honestly.
They should have. They should be Aleister Black's cronies.
I wouldn't mind that.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
That makes total fucking sense, actually. They have all these little weird symbols like he does. Their little black metal band that could form and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you gonna do?
We had the new formation of Ziggler and McIntyre defeating Titus Worldwide.
Oh God, no!
I'm on board with Ziggler and McIntyre based on their finisher alone. I think the Claymore into the zigzag is just a great finish.
Absolutely not. What the fuck? Like McIntyre's on a major cooldown. Like for anyone who knows me, I don't bitch about a lot, but Jesus Christ, McIntyre is my fucking boy since day one. Like I met him before he even went to WWE. When he was like Drew Galloway, I remember watching him in like a Scottish house show.
Right.
I don't know if it was ICW though. I don't think it was, but like, man, like I'm all for like heel McIntyre, but him bitching about like I'm sick of seeing people taking paychecks and not, just what the fuck.
I thought that was great. I wasn't on board.
Like that promo.
I was not on board with this pairing
Ziggler,
at all. I don't know if I'm still on board with Ziggler and McIntyre. I think they both deserve better. But until I heard them both, and I give both of them in this promo were tremendous. I was blown away by McIntyre in this. I saw a future fucking star. I think they're still going to let him loose eventually, especially giving him lines like this, and the delivery was phenomenal. And I've been and I didn't know McIntyre like you, but ever since I've always been a McIntyre fan, and I just feel like he's finally the guy they've kind of always wanted him to be. And I think in their mind, even though it's dumb to us, aligning him with Ziggler is kind of, well, they'll take him seriously now because Ziggler's established, even though they don't realize they've booked Ziggler into dog shit for the past 3 years. But that being said, I liked it. I liked the promo. I don't know if the pairing is going to end out good, positive in the long run. If anything, I could see McIntyre turning on Ziggler and Ziggler's a babyface again.
That'd be cool, actually.
But no, when they first came out on Raw, like last week, I do like the finisher, by the way, Colin. It's fucking awesome. But when I cringed too. I was like, what the fuck I was pissed. Here's a guy, Drew McIntyre, he's the epitome. Talk about DIY. He got shit canned. He went away and busted his ass, and it's a completely different wrestler. They even kept saying that on commentary. McIntyre was here before, but he's a completely different man now. And you can tell he is, and I just felt bad for him. Like, oh man, are you fucking kidding me? They're gonna do this to him. But no, I feel like after watching the promo, there is a light at the end of the tunnel in this for me with McIntyre still. I'm not letting go of hope yet with our boy now, Kuzon, Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's whatever. Like I'm glad to see him. Like he's speaking well, and the crowd seems to receive him really well. He's doing a lot better for himself. So I'm looking forward to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Fucking massive in person, though. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, he dwarfs the fucking ring. Jesus Christ.
His arms as big as John Cone.
I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, and when I met him, he fucking made me look like an average person.
And on top of it, he can talk, and he doesn't just cut a promo. He conveys all these emotions in his promo, and that's why this jumped off the screen to so many people, because a lot of guys don't. They do that, like Cornette says, that deer in headlights shit, because they're trying to remember shit off of a fucking paper or whatever. you know? And you know that he's thought a lot of this stuff too. This was probably a lot of his ideas for this promo too. It had to be just the delivery, just like Ziggler in this also. But Ziggler's been doing this longer, being allowed to do these type of work shoot quote promos. So that's right up his alley.
Right.
We'll see where it goes. What else went down on Raw this week?
We had Chad Gable versus Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal totally won the match. Nothing happened. Long live the modern day Maharaja.
I know you and Tater Snake have been friends for a while on Twitter, but I feel like the battle lines now are officially drawn in this match.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, Chad Gable did, well, unfortunately to me, Chad Gable did beat Jinder Mahal in this match. And yeah, me and pal Tater Snake went at it on Twitter for a bit.
They sure did. They did have a backstage thing with Gable and Kurt Angle interrupted by Jinder, which, you know what, I thought it was fine. I honestly don't have anything bad to say
I
about
thought it was, first of all, I liked Jinder Mahal. I actually enjoyed him a lot in this segment because he was.
Here comes a Nicholas reference.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right.
I knew it was
backstage. Jinder Mahal was just making fun of Chad Gable. He's like, "Wait a minute, I know you. The long hair, the headband. Nicholas, you grew up so fast." I was crying. I thought that was hilarious. And then they made fun of Vern Troyer being dead, kind of.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a bit like, oh, okay. I'm surprised they didn't get more shit for that.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, wow, that was. Did he piss off that company in the past when he guest hosted or whatever? But yeah, they gave Jinder that line to Gable, like, "Oh, are you that little guy who just died? I thought you died," or something like that. Yeah, I was like blown away. They actually did that. That was in bad taste in a way. But you know what? We say it's in bad taste now, but that's exactly what got him on the map in the late '90s and stuff like that.
Right. So there was that.
Chad Gable getting the Duke. You know, I felt bad for Gable on his entrance because he got no reaction at all, good or bad, from the crowd. He got nothing, but he did get a good reaction when he got the win here with the Roddy Piper Bret Hart finish.
Correct.
Kuzon, what'd you think of this little Gable singles run so far?
I mean, I'm happy to see him doing his thing, but I wish something more was coming of it. I believe it or not, I do like Chad Gable. I've been on his back on a lot of stuff, but he does the job well. I just wish that something would come of it. I feel like he can do so much more. He can do so much more, but they just here's this very stock animation of a storyline. I'm just like, come on. He can do it. He can do it. Give him something else.
Yeah, I can see. Here's put you guys in the hot seat. Can Chad Gable cut a promo from what you've seen?
It's kind of hit or miss. It depends on what he's told to say and just how he delivers it.
He's good at getting the crowd to do chants. There was in England there was a load of chanting with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. They were doing the whole Gable, Gable, Jason Jordan.
I feel like Gable is definitely a better promo than Jason Jordan was, and I mean, I feel like they're just waiting for Jordan to come back so they can do something with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, either reunite them or make their own feud or something like that.
Could you imagine how fast those lads be in the ring?
Good lord!
Doing cross the what's it called, the cross?
Crisscross.
No, doing crisscrosses.
The Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan thing.
Amazing. Yeah, but fucking 10 times as fast. Jesus Christ.
Is it going to lead to American Alpha reunion? You think, or a feud?
I mean, they're not doing anything that important, so I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to an American Alpha reunion. They were a good tag team.
I want Angle to come back and for them to have rehash the greatest tag team.
Team Angle stuff.
Yeah. I want Angle to be at the forefront again with those two on his back. That'd be awesome.
it's got like all the makings from what they're kind of planting seeds, referencing Jason Jordan this week. They do it a storyline wise where Kurt gets fired and they come back, like Kurt has like this little vigilante group, but it's like a badass team angle with Jordan and Gable, and they're like, they try to ruin the show or stuff like that. I could see that. I'd be down with vigilante Gable any day.
Yeah.
Let's finally give the ladies their due. The ladies were in quite a lot of action this week, guys, on Raw.
They were. I guess this was kind of... Well, first of all, you're skipping the biggest segment of the night. Baron Corbin and No Way Jose are about to have the feud of the fucking century.
I don't want to talk about it. No, no way, Jose.
Honestly, it's fine. It's pointless. Fucking No Way Jose was out there, and Baron Corbin was convinced, fucking Kenny Omega and like top names were just gonna debut out of his conga line and attack him or something. So he was like, "Nah, I'll pass. I'll pass on the match. You good, fam?" And then No Way Jose was doing his conga line back to the end. And then when No Way Jose was the last one out there, out comes Corbin to attack him. And I guess this is probably just going to be a pre-show for Backlash, I guess.
I've got a question. Is No Way Jose just basically Adam Rose 2.0?
I think No Way Jose is what Adam Rose should have been. But essentially, yes.
I think Vince just always needs a fucking dancing guy on his roster. That's always going to be him. So there's not a breath left in his body. No matter what era. Think about it. Attitude Era, you had Rikishi. Then you had fucking Billy and Chuck. And all those guys. Too cool.
Can't wait for Mustache Mountain to come out dancing. Could you imagine Mustache Mountain coming out?
I want Dalton Castle's boys to come out dancing.
No.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
One of these days, I just want, I want someone like Dalton Castle or like a Bullet Club member or like Jeff Cobb or someone to be just one of the cops or just one of those background characters we're not supposed to recognize.
Yeah.
And then everyone just loses their shit. Like, was that fucking just Kenny Omega standing and catering for no reason?
Did Kenny Omega just come down dressed as a gangster with John Cena? What the fuck?
That'd be so great.
I mean, Kenny Omega would fit perfectly because he's always into that goofy shit.
You just have Suzuki playing like one of those like Roman Reigns plants at the beginning of the show.
that they had everywhere on Raw this week. It felt like for that Roman segment. You know what I mean? Like,
that was so obvious.
If they weren't plants, I saw people on Twitter too, like, yeah, Roman's really getting the crowd fire behind him. Like, it was like 4 people. It was like four people cheering.
It was like 6 or 7 in one particular spot that the cameras immediately zoomed in on. Yeah, they were plants.
That just all happened to be decked out in official WWE shop merchandise. Get it today, guys, while it's hot. While you're a plant. Yeah.
It was so good.
Glad it wasn't just me that noticed that.
No, I noticed it immediately. There was also Seth Rollins and Finn Balor versus the Miz Taraj.
That was another huge part of. Just because I brought up the women didn't mean that was it for Raw. I just felt like let's give them a little due because they couldn't talk about the Saudi show.
Sorry about that.
But no, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. The Miz Taraj stuff. All throughout this show, we saw them go fucking great.
Kuzon's perfect match. The perfect waist club in full form. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor tag teaming.
Did you make it through this
awesome.
live, Kuzon?
It was awesome. Like they've been tag teaming together for a while. Rollins has been decking out in his old 2015 gear, which is fucking amazing. Like he's got like his old like 2015 gold trim, but he doesn't. I
still think he should exclusively wear the flame pants.
No, they're horrible. Like the ones from this Raw Rumble, it's like GTA San Andreas, like fucking paint job on your lowrider. It's awful.
I also hate how like WrestleMania attires are like one-offs usually because I liked his WrestleMania attire. I wish he would wear that again.
Yeah.
I don't need the fucking Game of Thrones guy on the Titantron again, but the attire was cool.
No, I want those blue contacts back, man. Like that was
so
awesome.
I thought those was great.
Like really weird, like fucking reference, but like I actually recently just got some blue contacts, and then that happened. I'm like, all right, then look, we got to stop doing this, Rollins. Like people are gonna think this is weird.
I'll say this about Rollins. Usually I like his gear, but is it just me or is it getting lazy with these guys' t-shirt designs? Kevin Owens had a retro Raw design. Seth Rollins has a retro Raw design. The Sami and Kevin shows back, that has the same retro Raw design. It's like the Sami Zayn or the Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins should look the same because they keep going back to this fucking lazy bullshit. Let's use a Survivor Series logo. It'll look awesome.
Come on.
Travis, it's either
Like,
going to
just
be
have-
this or the fucking rainbow again. Take your pick.
Oh, come on. Like, the Pride Rollins? They'd be amazing.
I loved it. I thought it was great, but Travis apparently wasn't a
No.
fan.
At least the rainbow's different. It's not a lazy Photoshop of an old Raw logo that says Rollins. I would take that over.
Look, let's bring it all the way. Let's bring it all the way around. We're gonna have Rollins in Razor Chroma gear. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be real sweet.
All sweet. It's for everyone.
Oh yeah, or are we going to talk about how Corey Graves name dropped the Bullet Club by mistake?
Yeah, the slip up. The internet lost their shit for 5 minutes.
That was terrible. And then when the news that Booker T was coming back to commentary, everyone assumed he was going to replace Corey Graves, and that Vince was just that pissed off at him.
Oh my god! Would these two just like stop arguing, like Corey Graves and Booker T? Like, Jesus Christ!
Oh, that was
Corey versus Booker is my favorite feud.
No, because like Booker's gonna bring out his lads, start stabbing people. Like, come on. It's just not okay.
Now they're going to transition all that, quote, heat they had into the, like, on television as we see now, because they had tons of jabs at each other throughout the show. And Corey just annihilates. Booker can't keep up with Corey. I'm sorry, Booker. You can't.
Oh,
Corey Graves is easily.
Awesome.
I'm. This is going to be a hot take from Colin. I think Corey Graves is the best commentator in fucking years, and I think he's already like a top 5 commentator of all time.
I'm right there with you. And dare I say the closest thing we're going to get to like a Bobby Heenan on commentary. This is later on SmackDown, but a little thing he did during the Carmella segment, when he stood up and applauded, he was like, "Come on, get up." That's something Bobby Heenan would do. They've molded these commentators for years now into just these robotic, boring fucks. You know what I mean? You don't have any zaniness at the booth, and you need that sometimes, especially when you're watching like a 5-hour pay-per-view. You need someone there to keep it, and that he's doing his job. You know, when they first signed him at this with the concussion stuff, right? When he first started in NXT, no one thought he would be doing this. No one knew he had this in him because the Corey Graves character as a wrestler in NXT was kind of boring. He didn't, he was nothing like this. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. He's been great.
Right.
Can't get enough, actually.
Yeah. Anyways, on to the main event. This was kind of the hey, sorry you're not going to be in Saudi for the biggest show ever, but here's the main event of Raw.
Well, real quick, we didn't talk about the Miz Taraj before we get to that. Trying to form the new Shield with Rollins, wearing Rollins' shirt, and that was great. And then a couple segments later, they did the same thing to Balor. Trying to do the Too Sweet to Balor, wearing Balor gear, and he turned.
The Baxel Club.
Yeah, the Baxel
Ew.
It's what they want to call the Baxel Club.
Those are great.
Awful.
I thought the segment itself was great. What I wanted to happen was when Bo and Kurt were doing the Too Sweet, I wanted Finn Balor to walk in, and instead of lowering their hands, I wanted him to just say cease and desist and just leave the room, because that would have popped everybody.
Just like have it on a sticker on a piece of paper.
Yeah, hey,
staple it on his forehead.
Have like one of those little Wile E. Coyote signs because he never talked. He'd say like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
Oh my god,
That'd be awesome. Like Wile E. Coyote.
That's almost as good as my idea.
Gimmick.
That's almost as good as my idea to bring that back Dean Ambrose dressing like La Parka, attacking Roman with the chair repeatedly, takes off the mask, gets Ambrose. Almost,
yeah.
But yeah, it was just obviously they lost the match. Perfect Waist Club gets the Duke, Kuzon was a happy lad, and then yes, Colin, we're sorry you can't go over here. Here's your 10-women main event spot.
Minus Dana Brooke. No one gives a fuck about Dana Brooke, apparently.
Yeah.
Can we talk about one more thing? Actually.
Yeah.
Before this little moment, a moment of bliss
Yes.
Fucking work of genius. Awesome. It's just, did you lads like catch it with Alexa Bliss's like important public service announcement?
I did. About
Oh,
Nia Jax. Like she
yeah,
was gonna give a homeless woman food, and Nia grabbed it from her hand and started eating it, and right in front of the woman was laughing while she was eating it. It was great because I was picturing it in my head too while she was saying it. Ugh.
because I watched this bit with my dad. Me and my dad. I came downstairs just to like get a coffee or whatever. My dad just flicked it on, and he was in stitches. Like it was fucking amazing.
I did not see the segment, but from the sounds of it, I definitely need to go back and watch it.
My dad hasn't watched wrestling in a while. Like he's probably like the same age as Travis. How old are you, Travis? Not to dox you or anything, but
It was more clever in this too, and that's also why like they didn't just do well. This is a fat shaming program. That was like they sprinkled that in, but the way they just sprinkled that one little thing, because the rest was just about Nia being an awful person and belittling people, but they just made it just put it over the top. It was like a fine little nuance, but I like the fact that they're not just doing the lazy bullshit of Nia's big. Well, no fucking shit, but you can't keep making that the basis of every goddamn angle. It gets old, you know.
Right.
Scott Steiner's in the corner.
Scott Steiner, he was a champion in 2018, by the way. What did you think of the
Spoiler,
vote? You did not
spoiler
see
alert,
it.
he's already dropped the belts.
Oh, he did. Well, thank God. Who is his partner? His chest tattoo, or a kid in the crowd, or I forget.
It's the back tattoo that's the terrible one. I don't even.
All of his tattoos are terrible. Which tattoo's the good one on Scott Steiner?
It's a very good
Jesus
point.
Christ. All right, 10 women tag, not Scott Steiner's tits. What did you think?
As far as the match itself goes, it wasn't that bad.
No, it was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was, just Gaga Survivor Series women's match, basically, with Ron thrown in.
Yeah,
Right,
Ronda made her appearance. I like that. I like how they're keeping their word as far as Ronda being on Raw each week. I'm still waiting for her to have like an actual match that's just kind of there like that. I'm still waiting for Ronda to feel like she's actually just sort of there. Like that, it's kind of when things are gonna set in that this is actually happening.
Yeah, I mean they've lived up to the word, keeping her there every week, like keeping her in the
Right.
not doing the Brock treatment with her. The match it was exactly what you would think with all these women out there, getting their shit in, whatnot. The Ronda spot, a little more progression in the Bailey Sasha stuff here. Overall, Kuzon, did you happen to see this, and what did you think?
I love seeing the Riot Squad do their thing. Like, I'm glad that the Riot Squad are actually getting somewhere. I know that sounds like I'm cherry picking, but that's essentially what I'm doing. Like, I really enjoy the Riot Squad as a team. I'm glad that they're doing good things.
I also really enjoy the Riot Squad.
I'm moving too.
Yeah, who also got the cheap pop on commentary about Booker T training her and stuff. I think
that was Ember Moon. Yeah,
she's gonna get there. I think the fans are gonna more and more. I think she's gonna probably eventually get the belt, and you know what I mean. I think she'll be okay.
It's right.
Way more than a Tamina,
I forgot about Tamina.
See, exactly. That was Raw this week, guys. What do we think? What do we grade it?
I enjoyed myself. I'd give it an A minus.
Yeah, it was certainly like the better of Raws. Honestly, it didn't drag as much as I thought it would.
Exactly. That was the most notable thing coming out of this episode for me. I'll give it a solid B plus for me. It didn't seem like 3 hours this week, which is rare. Fair assessment, I would say across the board. Kuzon, what do you grade Raw this week? Same boat with Colin, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's go blue brand, gentlemen. Let's hold our breaths so our faces turn blue. It's SmackDown live time. Man, I mean, a better SmackDown, obviously with the shakeup. It's not I feel like it could have been a little bit more considering how stacked their fucking roster is now, but that also goes into me being a hypocrite when I talk about people having no patience. I kind of want it all, especially with Almas being there. I don't know why. I just want Almas. I want some Almas in my life. But Colin, what we start off SmackDown this week with?
I'll see. The first one was Miz TV. Miz said that he was going to have Daniel Bryan out, but instead we got Big Cass looking sharp in the suit. He was putting on the Rolex, everything like that.
It took him a couple minutes to get his fucking jacket and Rolex on the stage. He struggled a little bit, but he got it on eventually.
Fucking state of him, Jesus Christ, does not suit him. Like, he is not a suit guy. He looks so like out of place.
Right.
It's like if you dress a kid up for a funeral. Just depressing.
Good Lord.
At least the kid's jacket sleeves would be long enough, like they would reach his right. Like his jacket was too small.
Oh my god.
It was yeah, I'm glad it wasn't me either. It's so small. I think he was wearing a kid's jacket. Could have been. At first, I was like, especially when he struggled to get that coat on, when he interrupted the Miz, who by the way was over as fuck with this crowd. I dare I say it was like almost 50-50 with Miz and Daniel Bryan fans in this crowd. Getting great reaction.
Right. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the promo that Big Cass said. I thought this was one of the better Big Cass promos we've ever gotten. And honestly, that's saying a lot considering his past promos have been pretty fucking terrible.
This was way better than the one that he gets the most credit, the Enzo one. I thought the Enzo one was okay. I just thought his delivery in this was A+. That's why you're seeing McIntyre and Big Cass on a thumbnail this week, guys. Both of these guys kind of broke through on the mic on these shows this week. And I was going to say, yeah, at first I thought he was like a kid of the funeral in the suit. But by the end of this promo he cut, I could see it. He sold me. I don't know if I'm alone on that, but he knocked it out of the park for me in this, just like McIntyre did earlier. Talking about how he used to be like Daniel Bryan and just the overlying thing in his promo was, his bullet points where he resents Daniel Bryan. He resents in a heelish way. The reason he hates Daniel Bryan's ridiculous because it's really he hates himself, but that's what makes a heel a heel. He's in like denial when it's really him he should be blaming in the mirror. That's like the ultimate heel, right? Not accepting responsibility. So I liked it.
Blame a kid can't take care of himself.
Yeah,
is what I got from it. It's like, yeah,
and just his tones and his delivery and the way he was just cutting the promo, quote, acting. He was doing great and nothing I thought he was capable of, honestly. And, I give it a pass. Thumbs up.
Right. By the way, quick shout out to Mike the Sinning Slam Pig in the chat. He says, hello, sinners.
What's going on, Mike? Thank you for joining us very late or early.
Depending on where you are.
Pretty sure he's at work.
Up next was the Iconics beating Becky Lynch and Asuka. This would also be one of Asuka's, Asuka losing a second match. Becky Lynch was the one to take the pin, so I mean, you can justify it however you want to, but still, I'm fine with this. I like the Iconic duo. Now it's just the Iconics with two eyes. So I mean, I'm happy to see them getting the big win.
I liked the result because they need it more than Asuka needs a win. Asuka's not damaged yet. She's got that streak going on her own.
And I saw people complaining like, "Oh, so we're just gonna hand Asuka L's left and right now," and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! It's been 1 week."
Oh,
and also, people, she didn't eat the fucking pin. Becky Lynch did. It's safe. It's okay.
It's just so dumb when wrestling fans go, "My favorite wrestler didn't win." It's just, shut up. Like, we're not all Superman.
Man, you got so many timestamps to read it this week. Great.
After that, we had Jimmy Uso versus Rowan. Jimmy Uso got the roll-up win on Eric Rowan because
Here we go.
he could not stop staring at Naomi's butt cheeks.
That ass. Shucky ducky.
Tell your butt cheeks.
My God. There were some kids in that crowd right there, and she was just, Jesus. It's a Brazzers set? And then her music played like the whole time too. It was like,
Yeah, her music didn't stop playing, and I thought that was very confusing.
I don't know if they forgot to cut it or it's like a fuck up.
I think they realized that the match was about to end, and so they're just like, fuck it, keep playing it.
Well, I get why they kept it playing for like the distraction during the butt cheek jiggles, but after like the Uso got the pin, they just kept playing her music. Like they didn't cut like to the Usos theme because they wanted to just let her shake that ass some more, but she didn't.
No, I should have preferred the Usos theme. It's a lot better.
I literally will. I did it tonight. I listened to the Usos theme at work. Put it on my phone. Gets me.
I'm not even like into it. That's not even like my kind of music. Like I'm very much a rock and metal kind of guy.
I'm the total opposite of that kind of music, but that song gets me so ready to do shit. I'm like, all right, I can start my day.
Right. I mean, I'm into rap more or less now. I mean, before this, I was listening to Post Malone's new album, so I mean, I'm getting into rap and like. But I mean, the Usos theme song is definitely pretty great.
It's caramel and breakfast cereal is all I thought. Except
that. Close enough. Up next, we had Carmella and Charlotte Flair for the contract signing. This segment was a hit or miss depending on who you were. I really enjoyed this segment.
Yeah, if you're assholes like us, you thought Carmella was an ultra heel in this, and I loved how she came out demanding the fans watch her highlight reel. They didn't cheer after it, so she played it again, the entire like 2.5 thing again, which got great heel heat. It was great. As far as what a heel should do, it was great. I'm not saying the highlight reel was great because it's Carmella, but still. She came off great like a bitch in this, and the crowd ate the shit up. And a lot of people did. I'm enjoying her. I think she's playing the heel well, and the chicken shit heel is exactly the kind of heel she should be playing, and Charlotte's the perfect character to play that off of, and I don't feel like she should lose at Backlash. Even this was the contract signing for the Backlash match, by the way, and Charlotte eventually did come out. She played it a third time, and they started to go like a minute in. By then, it was like, wow, they're really playing. And then finally, Charlotte interrupted it. Charlotte this whole time just came out casually, looked pissed, but didn't even really look at Carmella because Carmella started taunting her, like strutting like Flair. Flair not selling it at all. I thought that was great. That was, she still showed that swagger even in defeat, and it's just Carmella was beneath her, not worth her time, and all Charlotte Flair did was literally by the end of this reach over and just like pie face Carmella into the table and like pushed the table on her and walked off and kicked dirt on her like Carmella did to her. That was that, and I thought it went off without a hitch. It was exactly what it needed to be. If you would have told me Carmella would have been in one of my more favorite segments this week, I would have called you a liar, Mean Gene. Brother.
Right.
Stink, Colin.
Yeah, I thought the segment is great. I love the character Carmella is playing. She's like, she's bitchy, but she's what a heel should be. Like her heel character is exactly what it should be. And people were like, oh, it was, and like, I mean, here's the thing. I thought this segment was annoying as hell. I was like, holy shit, shut up, Carmella. And that's exactly the reason why I like this segment, because that's what it was supposed to be. And obviously my favorite part was Carmella was saying, stand up and clap for me. And Corey Graves gets up and he's like, yes, I will. And
he was like, come on, Phillips, get up. And Phillips wouldn't get up. Yeah, good stuff.
Exactly.
There was a sign in the crowd during that segment that just said "Lollies rule." Up until that point in the promo, I was like, okay, we need to not. Like, the crowd needs to slow down with these fucking signs. Like, that is wrong.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like, Carmella, like, she's doing her job well. Like, while it is annoying, that is the purpose. She comes across as like a little spoiled brat, like daughter, in a way.
Right.
So, but I think she can, in terms of aesthetics, she needs to hold the belt differently because it looks weird when she does it. Because when it's just on her, it's as if like it's not even there. But when it's over her shoulder, it's like she doesn't present it enough. She needs to be more in her opponent's face. You've got the belt. Like shove it in their face a bit more. State that you're the champion. Make it obvious. State the obvious. Make sure everyone knows. But yeah, like other than that, like this segment was like really good. Yeah. stop putting signs in saying that lollies rule. Stop it.
I did not see the lollies rule sign. I need to go back, I guess.
It's horrible.
Did it have, did he tape actual lollies to the sign?
No, it was just
half-assed.
text, fortunately.
What a cocksucker.
It was terrible.
Terrible people.
Anyways, up next was what was advertised as Shelton versus it was Shelton versus Jeff Hardy, but then instead of what happened last week, what happened last week happened this week, but in reverse. Out came Randy Orton instead, and so Randy and Shelton Benjamin had a match, and it was actually a pretty good match.
Welcome to 2004.
I was literally about to say it was 04 all over again. Then he beat me to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Osmosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I surprisingly better match than I thought it would be. Not the typical Orton match.
Right.
Credit to Shelton Benjamin, of course.
And we had some Raw invade SmackDown because we had Sunil Singh in a mask show up to just fuck over Jeff Hardy or someone, I guess. And he ate a RKO.
Excuse me. Where is, and we might have talked about it. I mean, I've just not cared enough. Where's the other fucking Singh brothers? He injured?
Yeah, he had shoulder surgery.
Yeah,
He got injured doing something, so.
Someone tried to tell me he had issues with his passport. I'm like, he's American, right?
I don't know what.
Or is he Canadian too?
I'll look it up.
Anyway, he's injured. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Should they have just taken the one off TV until the other got back, or do you think that?
No, I think having the one Singh brother there is fine. And yes, they're also Canadian.
Can I just say, Shelton Benjamin's finisher was awful in this match. Oh my god.
It was a little sloppy. I agree.
It was really, he barely hit any impact on it. What's his finisher called?
The Colossus, or whose finisher?
No, Shelton Benjamin.
Pay Dirt.
Yeah, he got it really sloppy against Randy.
Man, you were all over that because I had to think for a second. I was about to just be like,
it's one of my favorite moves. I don't know why, but it has always been one of my favorite wrestling moves is the Pay Dirt. And so yeah, and I know the name.
Does the gold standard
go back to it?
Does the gold standard gimmick come back in 6 months?
God, I hope so. I want him to grow the hair out of Midnight Gold, get the old theme song going.
I didn't hate it, honestly. On paper,
go even further. Go even further. Get the goatee. Get a golden goatee. Get it going.
You gotta have it. You gotta go full force.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it with a goatee.
Mm-hmm.
Diet like Scott Steiner. What went on next on SmackDown, Colin?
Let's see. We had the main event, AJ Styles and the Club reuniting versus Shinsuke Nakamura with the brand new theme song, and then Rusev and Aiden English.
We're probably the only ones that focus on the match because everyone else on Twitter and I saw were focused on the goddamn theme song, didn't pay attention to the actual match. Yeah, the match, the Club are back together. We already talked about it earlier on. I feel like we've already reviewed this match without reviewing it because of earlier anyway. I mean, I'll just say, the Club was over in this. We got a "We Want Gallows" chant, which I never thought I would fucking see in my life.
Yeah, I made mention to that. I'm like, I'll take chants I never thought I'd ever hear for 600, Alex.
Yeah, I was blown away by that actually. What did you think? What did you think?
Gallows is that popular?
What did you think of the call, Kuz, to put the Club back with Styles away from Balor at this point?
Say that again, sorry? I cut out.
Oh, I said, what do you think about the call at this point to put the Club back with Styles over Balor, the booking decision?
Oh, I think I'd rather have them with AJ, but they're still too heelish, you know? I think if you want to keep them heels, keep them with Finn. But I'm happy to see them on SmackDown. I think they'd be a great addition to SmackDown with the Usos. They'd really give SmackDown that tag team spark that it needs. There's enough on Raw to keep it going. SmackDown really needs something other than just the New Day and the Usos. And obviously the Bludgeon Brothers, but like, you know. Colin, what did you say? You didn't think like Gallows was going to be as popular as he would be?
Well, no, there was a "We Want Gallows" chant in this match, and I'm like, where the fuck are they that Luke Gallows
Have you
popular?
never seen Bullet Club Nigeria with Doc Gallows
Oh,
and the
God.
Great Power Uti?
Jesus fucking Christ. 2 hours in and we're
Bro.
talking about Power Udi now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, so I mean, good for them. It's just not. I would think like they would cheer for the club, they would cheer for all of them, but not just specifically Luke Gallows. It was just caught me off guard a bit. But
Mate,
match itself was right.
Next year we'll go to Nigeria.
I was happy that Nakamura, Aiden English, and Rusev got the pin. As a man who liked the Vaudevillains and likes Aiden English, I'm very happy to see a guy like Aiden English in the main event scene, getting like wins and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when he has a guy in a headlock. It's like, ask him, ref, like he sings. It's
yeah,
great.
no, and when he comes out before each entrance and he sort of like Broadway raps, I think it's just great.
You know what else has been great? This has been great. This late night, morning time Slam Pigs. Before we get out of here, what did we grade SmackDown this week?
I'd give it another A. Thought both of these shows this week were pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with an A.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One more time. Kuzon, my man. Thank you again, dude, for doing this so early over there. Where can everyone check you out and all that good stuff?
If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Kuzon TV. If you're into Twitch stuff, you know what Twitch is. I play a lot of Skyrim. Been trying to do some more WWE 2K18 stuff. I'm going to do a rerun of my career over on twitch.tv/Kuzon_TV. Come and have a listen. I'll try and sort my schedule out, but at the moment I'm still moving in, putting all my shit together. Yeah. Oh, and Slam Pigs here every time when I'm awake.
Perfect waster in full force. Get your belts, pull up your pants. We'll catch you next round, Kuzon. Thank you again, my man. Colin Dunn, holding down the fort. One more time, where can everybody catch you on?
You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy, where I'm always tweeting about wrestling and just general things. You can check me out over Future Entertainment. I'm always making appearances over our good friend Logan Meyer's channel. You can check me out obviously here whenever I'm here, you know, doing Slam Pigs and all that. Also, I'm gonna cheap plug my girlfriend's Twitch channel. She's 4 followers away from 100, so go follow her at 4Leaf Clover on Twitch. Yeah.
There you go. Hopefully that plug ages well. Thank you again, Colin, for joining me. Both of you guys enjoy the greatest Royal Rumble in just a couple hours. It's right around the corner. Also, follow me on Twitter at @BigTND. Hit that subscribe right down below. Check out the reset button, Slam Pigs Podcast. Also, catch me on Future Entertainment, Logan Myers, every Wednesday. Well, usually Wednesday, not lately, but Next Level, our NXT show, and Never Drew a Dime with my buddy Drew Lorman on Grapple Vision and ProWrestlingJournal.com. Until next week, Slam Pigs Podcast. See you then.